Okay, so this video is going to be severely edited. I just want to let you know. Um, I put up the full 29-minute video. YouTube did not like that. They did not like anything about that video. So what I'm gonna do is I might try and like create like a Patreon or something like that, so I can put all the full videos up there, and you can physically go and see them. I don't know that I can this early in the YouTube stage, so I may not be able to. I may just have to like create a website or something that y'all can physically go and look at those videos there, which wouldn't be a problem either. So I apologize for all of this editing. I'm going to try to do some more videos that are more specific to certain things. So if you find something that I didn't quite go over, I probably did, but I showed plants and I had to edit it out. So like I said, I do apologize. So I hope you like what I put out, and I will try to do better on the next one. Thanks. What you're going to need to just start off. I mean, if you're planning on doing it indoors, because in Minnesota there's a good 6 months where you're not going to be able to do it outside. But, I mean, if you do it right, that 6 months isn't that big of a deal. But anyways, let's get to talk about it. So, as you can see, we have this one right here by VivoSun, which this is $129 on Amazon. And then this one right here is the AC Infinity, which is a much nicer one. And it is close to $200 for this particular size, which is a 48, 48, 80 for both of those. And then, as you can see, that little tiny one done by, it's hard to read it, but it says Zazie. Yeah, this is another Amazon one. This one was like 50 bucks. This is where I actually began. I wanted to make sure that I was going to like it. But I will say that if you're planning on it, this holds one plant. Okay. It claims 2 to 3. Honestly, 1. So, but that's obviously you're going to need something of this nature. Now, if you're just going to do it in the summertime, then you wouldn't necessarily need this. Those are Barina. I think that's the name of it, Barina. I'll put a link in the description for them. I got these off Amazon, and they work fantastic. That one's actually just a little bit high right there, but that one right there. And as you can see, there's different colors. One other thing you're going to need as well is some timers. So let's talk about timers. See, that is a GE timer, I do believe. It's, you know, I figured I'd go with a good brand because you don't want anything that's crappy. You want to go ahead and get one that has the 3 prongs, not the 2 prong. That way you can actually plug in your stuff. And then you want to know if you want to go with a dual plug or a single. I only needed a single, but I got the duals because they were GEs, so they're really nice. Okay, so we've talked about getting them up to seeds, and you will dig make sure it's not. See, here's this one right here. So this was that one that failed, and so basically you would make a hole, so roughly about enough that it's down in there, a little bit more than that. So roughly is about that far below the soil, which then you just come in, and while it's still up there, you want it to cover around it just a little bit. You don't want it to smother it or anything like that, but you want to cover the peat. So that gets that taken care of, and then it'll continue to. It's gonna take some time for the roots to set because it just got transplanted into here. But that is the least stressful way, other than actually just planting it directly into the pot that you're going to be growing it in, which obviously is going to be less stressful on the plants, but sometimes it doesn't always work. Whereas with the peat pods, the moisture's there longer and it contains it better. For me, it worked so much better. I have a better chance at them growing in that particular medium. So we got that taken care of. They're in the pot, they're going to grow, and remember, all water. For the first 3 waterings that it's in here, it's just straight water, nothing else. Okay. One thing that we need to talk about before we end up, planting those sprouts into the soil is what kind of soil are we going to be doing? Like as you can see, I'm using a Home Depot bucket. So I went with organic soils. So you can actually go to your garden centers and find some good organic soils, and get those. You want something that has some perlite in it, something that retains some water. Just like a good. You want something that's going to have oxygen in the soil and drain good, because that's what they really need. You don't want something that's just going to hold too much water and get all waterlogged, because then it's just going to provide root rot for your roots, and then your plant's going to die unless you pull the roots out, wash them, and then redo all of that stuff again. So in order to prevent that, having good drainage is number one thing. Put holes in there, obviously, so that the water drains out. I mean, that's just obvious. And then obviously the soil, it has perlite in it, it has peat, it has all kind of stuff, and it's organic. So there's no fertilizers that are added like just regular old Miracle-Gro that feeds up to so many odd months. So that's what you want, because you're going to add the nutrients to it yourself. You don't really need, I mean, there's obviously some in here, but it's not a lot, and it's all organic ones too, so it's okay. But that's one of the things I was going to get to next, is when you put your soil in there, go ahead and rinse it a few times. Fill it up with water, let the water come out the bottom, and then once it comes out the bottom, let it sit for a little bit until it stops running out the bottom. Fill it again and let it drain again, and then let it sit for a day to let all that water kind of drain off, then plant it. Because that way, if it was, because you can run the risk of it being too hot if there was something in there that, because you're running off any excess. So that's one thing to consider. Now, so this is Fox Farms right here. All of these are Fox Farms, and they work fantastic, but they are strong. So these right here are organic. The ones here, this one right here, this one is completely organic. It's made from earthworm castings and bat guano. So this is what I like. I'll start off with this. It takes a lot each one, so it's like 60 milliliters per gallon. But I do that for 2 gallons. So this one right here is what you would convert to next. So this one right here, as you can see, has more nitrogen than the phosphate and the potash. So this right here, I believe that would actually be magnesium, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. And as you can see on this one, you see the numbers down there, they're really small. So it wasn't you weren't doing a lot with that one. So the difference is, as you can see, it has more phosphates than it has nitrogen. So the way it works is when it's growing leaves and everything like that, it wants more nitrogen. But when it's growing more flowers, it wants more phosphates or phosphorus. So that's the reason why you have the different ones. And you can actually get a 3-pack combo, which I'll put a link in the description so you can get that too. I started off using that one right there, but I just I couldn't find enough information on it, and I just didn't like it. And you may want to consider some sort of graduated cylinder that gives you in milliliters right there. It works out so much better than just trying to find measuring cups and whatnot. So I'm sitting here and I'm editing this because YouTube won't let me put the video up the way I want to. So I've had, as you know, at the beginning I told you about it severely edited. And so the ending I actually had to eliminate because I was showing you all my babies. So what I will say is I hope you like this video. I will actually try to find ways, maybe use animation, see if that works, just things that I can show you what's actually going on without actually showing you what's going on, because they apparently don't like it when you show any kind of plant or consumption. I honestly didn't think that they would have a problem with just the plants, because I mean it's gardening, but yeah, apparently that is a problem. So like I said, I appreciate it. I will have to obviously do some videos that are not cannabis related, which I'd like to do a lot of gardening in general, so that's not going to be really a problem. I'm growing herbs right now, like not the cannabis herbs, but like basil, chives, stuff like that, you know. And then when summertime hits, I'm starting a garden, doing raised beds, doing all that stuff, because that's just it's so exciting when you see something go from just a seed all the way up to being like a full-blown plant that you are either gonna harvest or or maybe it's a tree and it's just gonna keep on growing. You know, it's so enjoying. You know, like it's until you experience it, then it's you know, it's hard to explain. But that being said, see you guys later, and see you on the next one. You know, let's see if there is a next one.